morning. It's a good night's sleep. To bed at 8:30. It's 5:30 right now, and let's get going. 163.9, down 0.7 pounds. 147 of muscle. 7 pounds of bone. 22.2 BMI. 6% body fat. 60.7 water weight. Alright. Every day weighing myself is the very first thing I do. And then I have all my systems ready to go. So I have my latest blood draw showed low ferritin levels. And so every morning I take 75 milligrams of iron plus 250 milligrams of vitamin C because it increases absorption. So, but I drink just a little water. I charge my device so I don't have to think about it ever again. I try to do things so that I don't have to think about making any action. And now let's start the meditation and some light therapy. This is something new I've been trying. We've been trying for the past 2 weeks. This light therapy. So I meditate, and then as I meditate, I do some light therapy, and then I finish with HRV training with this polar strap. Alright, that's complete. Let's see what the results are. Surprisingly accurate. I have a 10 out of 10 readiness score today. It measures my HRV using frequency domain and time domain analysis. It's surprisingly accurate. When I feel stressed or had a bad night, typically comes up if my sympathetic nervous system is much more active. Today it's 10 out of 10, 66 HRV, 56 heart rate. We're gonna have a good day today. All right. Prior to working out, I'm going to make a little concoction. First, a little bit of water. I'll drink a total of about 48 ounces today. This is 2.5 grams of creatine, 8 drops of manganese, 125 milligrams of liquid iodine, because today's Saturday. 250 milligrams on even days. Even Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'll wake up 20 grams of peptides, collagen. 2 tablespoons of spermidine. It oxidizes, so it needs to be in an airtight container. 500 milligrams of cacao for the flavonols. It increases nitric oxide for the workout, blood flow to the heart and brain. And then a teaspoon of cinnamon. When you look at this, you may wonder if it's disgusting. It's not. It's delicious. Maybe I'm trained to think so, but I love this drink. I will do a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil. That will be one of 3, so 50 milliliters of olive oil each day. That's the first one. Get pills. Please, pills. They're all nicely labeled. Upon waking, lunch, and bedtime. Upon waking is about 25 pills. I just put them in kind of small handfuls. Look at that, still half to go. What could be a better pre-workout than olive oil, spermidine, peptides, cinnamon, creatine, cacao for the flavonols, and 25 pills. When you're doing caloric restriction, at least for me, every morsel matters. I've found myself licking my plate, but everything, because just over 2,100 calories a day while working out as much as I do, you really appreciate every single crumb. So that's about as good as I can do. Eat 2 pieces of gum to induce saliva. Free, and it has xylitol in it, which prevents tooth decay. So part of my oral regimen. I'll spit it out in about 60 seconds, and then we're ready to go to the gym. Now we're warmed up. See, Jefferson today has tip bar, calf raises, ankle rotation, straight calf leg raises, standing leg lifts, butterflies, and QL. Alright. He's got all labeled out. A1, A2, B, C, D, E1, E1, E2, F. I didn't realize that the sequence of exercises would be so important. But once I started doing it, I realized that my body got momentum, so the muscles in the future, in addition to the sequences thereafter became better. So a lot of what you have to do, things I've never done in my entire life, I never really knew. Building a trials is an important thing. My favorite part of the day is my morning spend an hour to 2 hours depending on the day, and you get to think about everything and think about nothing. It's quiet. To play some wonderful music and just kind of lose myself. Bicep curls, bench press. It entirely transformed my workout. Now we can focus heavily on knees, hips, and ankles. You see in these stretches is an entirely different world than what I've done my entire life. It's quite shocking. It's by far the best workout regimen I've ever had. My body's never felt better. I'm capable. Makes me wonder how I've done the wrong things my entire life. But it's kind of like my life to this point. I think I did almost all the wrong things for quite some time with diet and sleep, exercise. Makes me wonder how many other wrong things I'm doing now. Probably a lot. I've lost count. But I guess I know about the pain. Burning like number 18, which means I've got 7 left. It kind of feels like I can't do 7, so it feels about right. It's hit me to my edge of pain tolerance. I've been working on max heart rate. So, hopefully, no one knows how to improve it. Somehow, my team and I have improved mine by 50% in the past few months. We don't really know why. We did several things. But we just can't find examples of anyone in the world. Because my heart rate usually, I think age me is something like 52, somewhere around there. And now I believe I'm down at 36. Recently there's a specific regimen to generate max heart rate. I did that and got 183. That's from my previous high of 169, which was what I couldn't see for about 18 months. Boom, Dad. Oh, disgusting, you know, and oh gosh, life is hard. The key to Blueprint really is to try to eliminate my conscious mind from decision making. From getting up in the morning, it's why I have my pills laid out, the charger's there, everything's in my bedstand. Once I wake up and open my eyes, it's just start the first movement, do the very first thing. And then all the way through 9:30 in the morning when my morning routine ends, it's all autopilot. I don't have to think about anything. It's never a question of should I work out, or do I feel well enough to work out, should I do this rep or not this rep. It's decided for me, it's done. And eliminating my choice has been the best thing, as my dad said, removing me from myself has been the best thing I've ever done. I put him on a Blueprint Light version, and he too is experiencing the same exuberance, exhilaration of being free from the mind. Brutal, you know, it's like, how difficult is it to wake up and to maybe feel slightly off into the mind to say, you know, should we do this today? Should we work out? It's like, nah, you're good. Like, you worked out really well, really hard this week, and you need to get extra rest. I'm sure the body will appreciate it. You know, there's an endless number of excuses that pop up. And so it's very, very hard to battle that. It's wonderful to just take away the choice. Now, every single day until 9 in the morning, same. I don't think I've deviated from it once in the past. I think it was ever since I've been going on strong 6 months or so. No exceptions. Make sure the hands are clean, and then we'll put my phone and AirPods in the UV disinfectant box every morning. My team and I make recipes, and we try to create the perfect diet. So I consume 2,150 calories a day, and we try to make every single calorie perfectly suited for my body. We don't waste a single thing. And so this represents all of our scientific work, all evidence-based medicine. We try to have zero guesswork. It's all based upon hundreds of measurements from my body that generate the data, and we look at that through evidence-based medicine, and we then formulate these recipes. So I'll show you what it is. But it's important, as I mentioned before, my conscious mind is never consulted about what it wants to eat. My body does. So these measurements ask my liver and my heart and my DNA methylation what they need to thrive as biological processes and organs in my body. And it generates data. It says, I'm happy in this way and I'm sad in these ways. And then we try to make all these organs and biological processes happy with the food. And so this is what I'm given today. So you saw in the morning, I'll eat, for example, I'll have additional of olive oil, collagen peptides. I'll add some pea protein to the nutty pudding, which I'll show you in a minute. But otherwise, this is all I can eat all day long. It's not even a guess whether I'm going to have something else. It's just out of the question. So again, I savor every single bite. So let's get the super veggie. This is super veggie. I eat around 50 pounds a month of vegetables. You can see the volume, it's pretty substantial. I think most people are shocked by this as being 1 meal, but it's broccoli, cauliflower, ginger, garlic, mushrooms, hemp seeds, 300 grams of black lentils, we put it on a low simmer because it will take me about 20 minutes to shower and get all of my skincare done. And then by the time I come down, it'll be warm, and then we'll just sit down, and it will be peace and joy as we eat super veggie and think about the day, and particularly the most important things that I want to accomplish and be thinking about. I really don't like listening to podcasts or news or anything, because in doing that, I really I absorb that energy and then I become that energy. And so whatever it is, I really want to be in my own mind and focus on the things. And then after this point in the morning that I can open up and
I guess, expose myself to different energy sources, but in the morning I can keep it very stable. It probably makes sense to give some time for the stuff to dry. I just have to move pretty fast because there's a lot going on every day. So you can see the number of things I do every day. It's a lot. So you have to move pretty fast. And then we created a custom compounded skin formulation. We're trying to make the perfect skin cream with all the evidence-based interventions. And this version, it's like version 3, it still makes my skin orange. So I stopped using it on my face or my arms. I just use it on my legs now just to finish it up. We're doing a new formulation. I'll do that in a second. But we try to custom build everything from the skincare to the hair formulations to all of it. We'll use some products here and there where it exceeds our ability to do it, but otherwise we're just in the research and papers looking at everything and again measuring it. So we just found a biopsy method that we can biopsy my skin on my face without, this technique we found, without creating scarring. So we can measure the effect on my skin age. We do quantification every couple weeks according to certain standards. This lesson of spraying conditioner to detangle my hair. It was getting all knotty from all the stuff I put in at night for hair growth. We use this gel to try to decrease skin autofluorescence. As a kid, I had a lot of skin debauchery, and that I was in the sun all the time, and I don't think I ever applied sunscreen. And so now we're trying to, with a bunch of light treatments and skincare, we're trying to reverse all this damage that I did throughout my life. Oops. Now I put this on first. And we have a few machines in the clinic in the next room that we do regular measurements for skin autofluorescence so we can quantify. Anything we do, we have a system to measure the efficacy of it. And so if we can't measure it, we typically don't do it. There may be a few minor exceptions where the intervention's pretty low risk. Otherwise, everything's measured. So that first, and then vitamin C. Hyaluronic acid, 3 drops. And a peptide. And then we'll do some of this autofluorescence as well. Then I'll be inside all day, so I just need to put sunscreen on, just a minor amount. I have 2 different sunscreens, one that's more heavy duty for UVA and UVB, and then another one's kind of lightweight. The heavy duty one kind of does white casting on my face a little bit. Makes it so. All right. And then I have these nice notes from my assistant. I had this wonderful assistant for 3 years. She took a job with one of my companies now, but she is the sweetest thing in the world. She left all these on her last day. She left all these nice notes for me. I'm gonna keep them up. She's just a sweetheart. And again, it's like where other people may leave things remaining, food remaining in the dish, I don't. It's such a slippery slope that if you allow one exception for any reason, just like kind of all falls apart. To the next tablespoon of olive oil. This is one of my favorite dishes. Curry pumpkin soup. If I remember correctly, it's 300 grams of pumpkin, 400 grams of sweet potato, some other stuff, but it's delicious. And then this is nutty pudding. This is for dinner, so I'll have this probably around somewhere between 2 and 4 p.m. And then I'll do these in the fridge. Half Brazil nut for the selenium. That's 15 calories. And then previously I drink wine every day. I did 3 ounces, but stained my teeth. So I'm now going to try to get the essential component in a supplement that is going to be released hopefully in a couple weeks. And then with the super veggie, I'll do 500 milligrams of cacao, delicious. Teaspoon of cinnamon, and then a little bit of trehalose. And this is a treat. The light therapy is for area rejuvenation, tendons, ligaments. And then this light I do for about 15 minutes a day, 10,000 lux for mood support, and then also circadian rhythm normalization. But, you know, I guess as a kid, you know, this, I would have had a bowl of like this of Life or Cocoa Pebbles or Captain Crunch or, you know, any one of those, and with skim milk, which I don't know what it has per cup, maybe 12 grams of sugar. Wild to me that I grew up eating that. And, you know, now my breakfast is this, a few pounds of vegetables with olive oil. My kids have, excitingly, you know, they've adopted this. So my 16-year-old takes the super veggie to school, and his friends all give him a hard time. You know, they're like, "Brah, if this thing drops to the floor, it's gonna burn a hole in the ground." You know, and he just rolls with it, but he eats it every day. So I'm glad he does that. You know, the deeper you go in a given thing, the closer you get to, I don't want to call it the truth, because I don't know if there is a truth, but if the statement is that chocolate's good for you, that's level 1. Level 2 is that dark chocolate's good for you. And then level 3 is a certain kind of dark chocolate that doesn't have heavy metals in it. And so every time you go down a layer, you find increased levels of precision. So instead of just like, oh, chocolate's good for you, a Snickers bar must be in part good for you. I've learned to never accept the the first statement about a given thing. There's always a few levels to dig. And even then, you know, you're not certain you've landed. It's just you're probably in a better spot than you did before you started. All finished with, so I guess for breakfast, I have super veggie, that drink, and photons that give life. Are living in the 21st century, what should we really be thinking about? And my mind continually goes to what will those who are intelligent that exist in the year 2500, whatever that form of intelligence is, when they look back, what mattered in the 21st century? And of course it will be obvious to them at that time, like it is when we look back at the 1600s, 1700s, or 1800s. And that's the kind of clarity I try to have every day. It's very hard because you kind of have to like go through the gauntlet of your mind. Your mind is always trying to knock you off track, and it's trying to ring the alarm bells of like, hey, think about this, or think about that, or this is urgent. And it's quieting the mind and really trying to isolate those things, and it's trying to see outside all the norms that become the boundary conditions for your thoughts. And yeah, I think Kernel has that potential. We've built technology ahead of its time, and the Blueprint also has that kind of potential of reimagining our relationship with aging and health and time. And we really could be on the cusp of something dramatically different and better of an existence than what is today. I mean, life is tough. I mean, it's brutal being human. And I just can't help but imagine and hope that like, there's gotta be a better way to do this than what's going on now. And we have, it's not a baseless thought. Like, we have this infrastructure of technology and institutions and the emergence of all these things together that could make it possible if we could just aspire to it. And I guess aspire to it means like we'd have to dare to we have to dare to go after something that we can't actually identify. And that's, I think, the most difficult thing is we create goals and aspirations in life based upon things we can model out. We can see other people do it and we then want to do it. It's very hard to model out something brand new that's never been done or never been experienced or never been talked about or doesn't have words to it. It's very hard to imagine those kinds of things. And so it's a problem of articulating this aspiration. It's a problem of getting people to also share in the aspiration. It's more of this emergent feeling that things could be better in unknown ways. And typically when people get into that kind of thought process and they imagine what the future could be like, minds drift to dystopias, in a fraction of a second. And I'm not suggesting that utopia is the way to contemplate this. There's a practical way to think about the possibilities. But again, it's like a gauntlet to try to navigate through the dystopia, to also have practical mindedness that utopia is not necessarily maybe the thing to put your target on, but practically trying to navigate this thing, and then through all the chaos of the day and the responsibilities, that's the act. It's oftentimes challenging because the immediacy of human concerns is typically in the realm of seconds, and then minutes, and then hours. But then once you get to days, like the level of interest just kind of like falls off a cliff in terms of what's immediately important to people. And that's just how we're biologically configured. It's how society is configured. A lot of it's cultural norms, but a lot of it's our biology. Yeah, so these peaceful moments in the morning are precious. With Blueprint, I decided that was the turning point in Blueprint, is when I, playfully fired Evening Bryan. And I decided that my conscious mind of that version of me was no longer authorized to make decisions, and it's then expanded out. And so for me personally, I'm in this deep contemplation, reflecting that my conscious mind was the destroyer of me, and that only by arresting this have I been able to, for the first time in my life, well, for the first time since I was a kid, achieve peace and health and stability in my life, ironically. So there you go. That's what's going on this morning in the daily routine. This is exactly what happens every day. And it's why I go to bed at exactly the same time every night. It's why my sleep is so structured, because I want to feel wonderful. I want my head to be clear. I don't ever want to be sick. I have to sacrifice a lot to do that, social events and other things, but it's worth it to me to try to achieve this clarity of thought and to work on these things. I find it to be thrilling. All right, let's wash the dishes, get everything cleaned up, and let's get to work.